I am José Manuel García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, President and first consultant of the firm García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, the ADO Corporation. Let us talk in this video about motivation, leadership, and human behavior. And for that, we are going to use an interesting questionnaire called "What knowledge do you have about human nature?" Next, we will see a series of statements, 10 in particular, that once we have thought about them, we will answer each of them with a rather right if I think the answer is rather correct, or wrong if I think that the answer is rather incorrect. Here is a small clarification. We do not simply put correct or incorrect as an answer in these 10 declarations, but rather correct or rather incorrect, because when dealing with human beings, only saying that the answer could be right or wrong would be a limitation, because we are talking about human factor. As human beings, we are infinitely more complex, and therefore there may be exceptions that would justify another type of response. Let's go into the questionnaire on human nature. Attention! If you wish, we can take a brief moment to think the answer, pausing the video momentarily after each one of the declarations. And here we go with the first statement. First, being good observers, the first impression we receive from a person will allow us to establish a correct opinion of their character. What do we think is right or wrong? The answer is incorrect. Why? Because we are speaking about first impression. And when we speak of that mystery that we are, as human beings, having only a first impression to take out all the information and guide us through it, it is too few information. Also, some time ago, I had an English partner, Mike, who told me there is an English saying that says, to know a person well, you must eat meals together with him until consuming 1 ton of salt. Imagine the number of times you have to eat with that person in meals together to get to consume 1 ton of salt. Therefore, it takes time to get to know people well, because human beings are truly complex. The second statement says, almost all employees in appropriate conditions not only accept but seek responsibility. What do we think? The answer is right. Why? Well, this goes to show that there is sometimes on the part of the management class in some companies a certain distrust about human beings who collaborate with them. Furthermore, appropriate conditions, that is, when environment and motivation are appropriate. Thus, you have to believe more in people. Why? If you do not believe in people, maybe you distrust yourself, and that would not be good. The third statement says, if someone does not look into the eyes, It is usually a sign of dishonesty. And what do we respond? Incorrect. Lack of honesty. For not looking into the eyes, that's too much. It could be that a person is distracted, expression of shyness, might be thinking what to say next, etc. Fourth, the following statement says, if a motivation is important for 80% of a group, you can be sure that it will be important for the remaining 20%. The answer is incorrect. Human beings are very differentiated in their motivations, and what is considered a strong motivation for a person may be of little value to another. Fifth, of the race, class, of the nationality of a person, we can deduce conclusions about his character. What do we think? The answer is incorrect. But why? We speak of conclusions as something definitive in a concrete person. The race, the class, the nationality are great generalizations, and in this declaration we go from the general to the particular of a specific, a singular person. Furthermore, each human being is a species in itself. As human beings, we are very differentiated. The character of a person is something educational, and the family and the environment influence the person. And here we go with the sixth declaration. If someone gives us a firm handshake, you could think he has an active temperament. What do we think as an answer? Incorrect. Not necessarily. It is a topic, and the people cheat with topics. It could be that only the person's hand tightens to make a good impression without necessarily being active. The seventh statement says that there is a relationship between the writing and the temperament of a person. What do we think? The answer is correct, but only an expert can find a relationship. It seems that writing features, as well as how we dress, discover intimate aspects of our being for the good observer. Eighth, the laws of logic give us a revealing knowledge about the reasons for human behavior. And the answer is, curiously, in this case, the two answers fit. First, incorrect would be the answer, and then correct, and I will explain myself. If only logic is incorrect, but if to logic we add empathy, well applied, then the answer will be correct. And why? Because 19th century men and women, and from previous centuries, were emotional, rational. But men and women of the 21st century, my God, how centuries goes by, should be rational, emotional. The great topic of the 21st century is that we all are rational, emotional. Then, first is incorrect, then correct. The ninth statement says the capacity to develop a relatively high degree of imagination, ingenuity, and creativity in the solution of companies' problems are widely, not narrowly, distributed among all the company's employees. And what do we answer here? The answer is correct. Why? Because, as we have already said, we must believe more in people and also create the propitious atmosphere in the organization. And finally, the 10th, it is generally a fact that people with great moral strength are physically strong. And what do we think? Incorrect. It is enough to remember the figure of Mahatma Gandhi, who liberated India, as big as a continent, from England, not with cannons and yet with an aggressive policy as the non-violence. Mahatma Gandhi was a moral giant but a human weakling, although this statement could be discussed. Summary questionnaire. What we want to say is that from now on we will have to look for new ways of evaluating and judging people. Don't be guided by topics or generalities, since this has been a topic questionnaire, and judge by a direct knowledge of each person that each one of us is different. Senior managers of multinational companies spend a high percentage of their time with their people. The best investment of the director's time is knowing his people. Meet your collaborators, and as Peter Drucker said, management is people. If you are interested in our videos, I suggest that you give a like and subscribe to our channel.